वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। हो समर्पण लखन जैसा, राम जैसा त्याग हो। भीष्म सा हो नियम पालन, शौर्य में अभिमन्यु हो। आपदाओं को कुचल कर वीर बालक हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। बुद्ध जैसे कारुणिक हो, धीर हम महावीर से। ध्रुव जैसे निश्चयी, सत्याग्रही प्रहलाद से। दुर्दम्य सारे संकटों में अग्निपथ पर भी खिले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। हनुमान से सेवाव्रती, जिज्ञासु हो नचिकेत से। कर्मयोगी कृष्ण जैसे, वीर हो हम पार्थ से। बलिदान गोविंद सिंह सहो, स्वार्थ सारा ही चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। देशभक्ति हो शिवासम, प्रेम हो गौरांग सा। स्वाभिमान प्रताप सा हो, तेज झांसी वाली सा। जलती शहीदों की चिता से, हृदय में अंगार ले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुरा
गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति हूँ लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानंद
स्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna. With reverence, I bow down in the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Param Pujya Swamiji Sri Govinda Devagiri Ji Maharaj. Today is Raksha Bandhan. In Mahabharata, Raksha Bandhan spirit shines in the bond of Draupadi ties the cloth to Krishna's bound, and he ought to protect her forever. So on this auspicious day, on behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I, Dr. Pooja Sharma, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you in the secret Vivechan session of second chapter. Now, let us take first prayer so that the negativity gets removed from us and the positivity will come. For prayer, I would like to invite Pushpa Sinha ji from Hyderabad. She joined Geeta Parivar in May 20. She has completed Geeta Pathik exams and now she is serving as a co-trainer in L1, also giving seva in adding team. Welcome, Didi.
जय श्री कृष्णा सभी को। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्णा सभी को।
Thank you, Didi. Thank you for your divine and melodious prayer. Now we will move ahead for the Deepa Prajwalan. I would like to invite for Deepa Prajwalan Keya Dasgupta ji. She is from Kolkata. She joined Geeta Parivar in 21 and is currently serving as a L4 trainer. She is also giving seva as a TAG, GC and in a calling group. Let us welcome her for light lamp and begin this divine session with positivity. Welcome, Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you, Didi. Thank you for your light lamping. Now I would like to remind you again, there is a last week is going on for our 5 years completion celebration of Learngeeta. That is till 17th of June 25. So be a part of it and organize this Geeta program near your home, temple, garden or suitable places wherever it is possible for you. So I would request you, this is the last week, kindly do this divine seva. One more thing, tomorrow is Be a Geeta volunteer program is there, that is organizing in the Telugu, Kannada and Bangla languages. So kindly join this session and give your service in the lotus feet of Sri Hari. Now it's a time for most awaited part of the session is Vivechan. The soul is unborn, undying, beyond all decay. Body perishes, but spirit walks its own way. Perform your duty, O Arjun, without desires bind. Peace and true wisdom will dwell in your mind. I feel truly honored to today's Vivechak Adaraniya Shri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya ji. a devoted Geeta sadhak and accomplished trainer. He holds a BE degree in mechanical engineering and a PGDBM and has lived abroad as NRI for more than 12 years, traveling extensively across the globe. Currently based in Pune, he runs his own IT company and is fluent in 6 languages: Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. For the past 5 years, he has been reciting all 18 adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita daily. As a trainer for all the levels in Gita Pariwar, he plays a key role in training trainer selection and their training. He is also actively engaged in teaching and explaining Vishnu Sahasranam and guides Gita Vratis for Shringeri exams, where he himself honored with a first prize by Jagadguru Shankaracharya ji. Right now, he is heading International Expansion Department also. Now, with a great respect, I invite Adaraniya Shri Vikas Vaidya Dada for enlightening us with this wisdom. Please, Dada.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। वी आर डिस्कसिंग अध्याय 2 सांख्य योग। लास्ट टाइम वी हैड कवर्ड श्लोक अप टू 31. So let us start with slok number 32. We had discussed that slok 31 was Swadharmamapi chavikshya navikampitum dharmyadhyuddha shreyo nyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Paramatma now is reminding Arjuna about the duty, his dharma. Continuing that, slok 32. Yadruchaya chopapannam स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्. Actually, slok 32, 33, 34, we can take all together because they are all interconnected. However, we see the meaning. What is Yadruchaya? Yadruchaya means without wishing for it. Something which comes on its own accord. That is Yadruchaya. Upapannam, to arrive at. Apavrutam, widely open. Labhante, labhante is to get, to achieve. Idrusham is like this. So Paramatma says, O Partha, such Kshatriyas are so fortunate who unsought obtain the opportunity of such a war which is an open gateway to the heaven. Swargadvaram apavrutam. So a Kshatriya is very lucky if he gets an opportunity to fight such dharma yuddha. Then Shlok 33 says, Athachetvamiman dharmyam sangraman na karishyasi tatasvadharman kirtincha hitva papamavapsasi. Atha, therefore, tvam, you, imam is this, dharmam sangramam, dharma yuddha, hitva is to lose. Paramatma says, Atachettvamiman dharmyam sangrama na karishyasi tatasya dharmam kirtencha hitva papam avapsasi. So if you do not fight this war, which is dharmama yuddha for you, which is to uphold the dharma, then you will violate your duty, your dharma, and forfeit your honor, and thereby you will commit the sin. Papam avapsasi. You will attain sin. You will commit sin if you don't fight the war. Arjuna was under the impression that if he fights the war, then he will incur sin. Paramatma says, no, you are wrong, you are mistaken. If you don't fight the war, then you will commit the sin. Just the opposite of what you are thinking. Then in Shlok 34, Paramatma continues by saying that Akirtincha vibhutani kathaishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranadatiricyate. Akirti is infamy. Kathaishyanti, will keep talking. Avyayam, for an indefinite period of time. And Sambhavitasya, for a honest, sincere, good-natured person. Kirti Maranadati Richete. So people will always keep talking about your disgrace, that Arjuna has run away from the battlefield. So they will keep talking for indefinite period of time of Vyam, your disgrace and your dishonor. And to an honorable person, dishonor is certainly worse than the death. We see if a sincere person, honest, whom we respect very much, if he is caught by police for some crime which he may or might not have done also, he feels as if he should die. Rather than facing the society, he should better die. So Paramatma is now reminding that. Because Shri Krishna, we'll discuss this all the three shlokas together now. Shri Krishna is a great psychotherapist, what we discussed last time also. First, he started by talking about the perishable body and the imperishable Atma. We read many shlokas to this meaning. Then he spoke about his duty as a warrior. And now he's focusing on Arjuna's mind, his potential, his capabilities, and the danger in not working as per his innate nature, which is of a highly reputed brave Kshatriya. You see, in Gita, we learn this one thing for sure, that Atma of everybody is same. So at Atma level, there is no difference between Shri Krishna, you or me. Everybody's Atma is same. But there is definitely great difference at the intellectual level. And this difference can be seen between Shri Krishna and Arjuna as well. Shri Krishna had nothing to gain from the war. And moreover, he was never a propagator of violence. He had given his entire army to Kauravas, his Narayani Sena, and he himself was on the side of Pandavas. He also tried many times by going to Kauravas to stop the war. But it did not work. Duryodhana was very adamant. So finally he said, okay, I am on both sides. What do you want? You want me or my army? He asked Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, I want your army, Narayani Sena. So he gave his army to Kauravas. And he himself was on the side of Pandavas. That too he said, I will not use any weapons. So he was unarmed. So in effect, his own army was fighting against him. Because Narayani Sena was with Kaurava and Krishna himself was on the Pandava side. So his own army was fighting against him. This is completely unprecedented. In the world history, there is no such example wherein the Senapati is on one side and his army is on other side and fighting against him. Unprecedented. No one has ever been as neutral as Shri Krishna. He agreed with Arjuna to become his charioteer, Sarathi. Because as per the rules of war at that time, no one could use weapon against the charioteer. See, the war of Mahabharata was indeed very unique on several grounds. First of all, it was a war between the relatives who were divided in two camps. Kaurava and Pandavas, they were brothers actually, cousins. Secondly, no one would fight after sunset. That was the rule of the war. And thirdly, after sunset, Pandavas could move freely in the Kaurava camp. And vice versa. Kauravas could also visit Pandavas camp to inquire about each other's well-being. Kuch zyada lag gaya kya? Something like that. Oh, strange, no? Very, very strange. Furthermore, at the end of war, when Pitamaha Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, Sri Krishna asked Pandavas to seek his teachings because Pitamaha Bhishma was a great yogi. Can you imagine Pandavas who were responsible for Bhishma's predicament? His body was pierced with the arrows from Arjuna, but all of the Pandavas, led by Yudhishthir, going to him with folded hands and seeking teachings from him. And Bhishma also, with his body riddled with multiple piercing arrows, gave them the great Vishnu Sahasranam on the battlefield of Kurukshetra when he was counting his last moment. Those who have learned Vishnu Sahasranam from Gita Pariwar, they know this. Yudhishthira asked him a question. Kimi kandaivataloke kim vappe parayanam stvantah kankamarjantah prapnirmanavashvam. Who is that one God whose puja can be done and who will remove all the predicaments, all the problems of human beings, who will do all shubha, all auspicious things for the human beings. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah injapan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhana. So these were the questions asked by Yudhishthira to Pitamaha Bhishma. And Pitamaha Bhishma, he replied him, reciting the entire Vishnu Sahasranam, 1000 names of Bhagavan Vishnu, replying to Yudhishthira's queries. So this was very strange. This was the strange thing of Mahabharata war. Now coming back to this concept of Swarga Dvarma Paurutam, the concept of heaven and hell has been impressed upon us by the society. Almost all people at old age, suddenly they start performing some virtuous acts, some sattvic karma. The most corrupt and greedy man becomes unexpectedly charitable in his old age. At many temples, dharmashalas, charitable institutions, you will find photos with the tagline, "In the memory of so and so," hanging on the walls of those institutions. But the question is, any donation made out of fear, or for that matter, any auspicious action, karma, undertaken out of fear, how auspicious can it be? You're doing it out of fear. The next question is, do the heaven and hell really exist? Certainly our scriptures mention about heaven and hell at many places. But where do they exist? In this shloka, Sri Krishna himself mentions about heaven. So when he mentions about heaven, certainly there would be hell also, isn't it? Scriptures mention occurrence of 7 worlds, existence of 7 worlds. 3 of these are within the earth's core, down in the patal. And hell is said to be present within these 3 worlds which are down the earth. Heaven and hell exist, but these are not some physical places or tangible structures that this building is heaven, that building is hell. There is no such physical structure there. Every individual has his own heaven and hell because they will emerge from his own mind. Like the dreams emerge from his own mind, similarly, the heaven and hell also emerge from his mind only. Dreams are the imagination of your own mind, but while you are dreaming, they appear to be so real that you never doubt about their authenticity. The dream appears so real when you are watching the dream in the sleep. On the contrary, during the wake-up stage, you get skeptical about the reality of this world and seek to know how is this waking state? What dreams? What is sleep? What is this universe? Where do I see God? In fact, you question the whole creation of the God when you are wake up. But never you question the creation of your own mind. During the wakeful stage, you may grieve, you may cry out of pain and misery. However, in the midst of crying, if you fall asleep, then all your sufferings vanish in a moment. Because when you are sleeping, you don't cry, you don't grieve. That vanishes. The fear that you perceive when you see a nightmare is very real at that time when you are watching that dream. In fact, it affects your body too. Body starts sweating. Heartbeats become fast. And when the fear becomes overwhelming, intolerable, you wake up suddenly. And it takes some time for you to come back to normalcy. For a while, the distinction between your dream and the reality appears very blurred. Then slowly you emerge out of the effects of that dream, isn't it? We experience it many times. A small story about it. Once a king was sitting, his only son had died. And he was sitting by the side of his son's dead body, wailing and weeping and crying in great distress over his son's death. crying and crying and crying. As soon as he fell asleep, he had a dream. He dreamed that he was the father of 12 handsome and powerful sons who had their own separate kingdoms. Everyone was happy. But suddenly, what is the dream he saw was, suddenly an epidemic broke and killed all his sons. The shocked and utterly inconsolable king was crying aloud in his dream also, with intense pain. All my 12 sons have died. And then he woke up. Intense pain in the dream, losing 12 sons, he woke up. He found his wife crying for the real son who had died. The king was shell-shocked with his entire experience that he fell into stunned silence. He had seen the death of his only son. Then when he went to sleep, he saw the death of his 12 sons. So he was in stunned silence. His worried wife asked him as to why he was not crying for his only son. The shaken up king, he replied, "Who should I really cry for? Who should I really weep for? This one son or the 12 sons who had died earlier? This whole life is a dream." That is what Paramatma wants to say. This whole life is a dream. See it as a dream only. And come out of this dream and face the reality that you and Paramatma are one and same. Now a few more words about hell and heaven. The depiction of hell is a reflection of human fears. According to Hindu religion, hell is a very scorching, boiling, hot place. In Kalyan magazine, what we see is like this only. Likewise, in Tibetan structures or scriptures, the hell is represented as a place below freezing temperature. Because those people think freezing temperatures are very bad. So the hell is considered as below freezing temperatures. But when you consider the heaven, is a reflection of human greed and the lust. All the human lust is exaggerated in their definition of heaven. Like we say, there is a kalpavruksha in heaven which will fulfill all your desires. So to compensate all the thwarted desires when you are alive, people find solace in the concept of heaven where all their unfulfilled wishes will be fulfilled. That is what they call as heaven. See, almost all religions, they regard celibacy, brahmacharya, one patni vrata, as a laudable attribute. So their depicted heaven invariably, for all religions, including our religion, is full of beautiful young dancing damsels. You go to heaven and Menka and Rambha will be dancing for you. In reality, there is nothing but it's an extension of human lust. Like Kalpavruksha is also nothing but the form of your innate desires. Now Shri Krishna is well versed with this mindset of heaven and hell in the human minds. Hence, he is now presenting the possibility of heaven and hell to Arjuna, dangling the carrot of heaven and cautioning against the prospect of hell. Krishna says that if you perform your duty, the gates of heaven will be widely open for you. On the contrary, if you fail to do so, you fail to perform your prescribed duty of waging the war, then you will certainly incur sin for not discharging your duty. And thus you will lose your reputation as a valiant warrior, which for any respectable person is worse than dying. Maranadati richyate. The pain of infamy, the stigma of humiliation is intolerable to a man of eminence. Respect. See how Krishna is fanning the ego of Arjuna. He is inciting Arjuna and provoking his masculine pride. You are a brave person, wake up now. To continue further, Krishna says in slok number 35, Bhayadranadu paratam mausente tva maharathaha yeshai chatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. So to continue, Paramatma says, Arjuna, all those who have so far held you in high esteem, bahumato, they were looking at you in high esteem. Oh, great man, Arjuna. They will look at you with disdain and disrespect. Bhayat is from the battle, from out of fear, and Ranat is from the battlefield. Uparatam is to withdraw, to run away. So Paramatma says to Arjuna, all those who have so far held you in high esteem because of your bravery will look at you with disdain and disrespect. Moreover, they will think that you have run away, uparate, from the battlefield, Ranat, out of fear. And this will regard you as a coward. Bhayat. Arjuna was a very, very august and very eminent, brave person, individual, who was widely respected by everyone. Particularly after he easily accomplished the difficult task that had been set up for winning Draupadi's hand in her Draupadi's Swayamvar. The task, as we all know, was to hit the eye of a rotating fish dangling from the roof. But by not viewing the fish, but its reflection in the water. And Arjuna was the only one who accomplished that task, which was a reflection of his skill, of his one-pointed focus, of his mastery. This remarkable feat of Arjuna fetched him much acclaimed praise all over the country that time. And Sri Krishna is cautioning Arjuna that all the people who have so far viewed him with such respect and dignity would deride him, would degrade him, and look at him like a pygmy. Oh, you are such an ordinary person. You are not a brave man. For the cowardly act of deserting the battlefield. If you run away from the battlefield, then people will look at you as a pygmy, not as Bahumato, but as Lagu, small person, ordinary man. To continue further, Paramatma says in slok number 36, Avachyavadanscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastav samarthyan tato dukkhatarannukim. Arjuna, your enemies will belittle you. They will question your worthiness. Is he really brave? Or we were all under misunderstanding that he is a brave person. They will start doubting, questioning your worthiness. They will say with appalling, harsh, highly insulting words for you. Avachyavadansh. The language which should not be spoken, they will use that kind of language against you. That is, उनको गालियां देंगे. They will use bad words against you. And what can be more hurtful than having to listen to such humiliation from some unworthy, lowly people? They are not as capable as Arjuna. They are not as brave as Arjuna. But any Tom, Dick and Harry will come and will talk bad about you. So let us understand that Sri Krishna is not forcing Arjuna to fight. He just reminded Arjuna of his duties, of his obligations, and hence motivating him to uphold his duty, his dharma as a warrior, as a kshatriya. He says to Arjuna that he will forever be unhappy if he refuted to act as per his innate nature. Your innate nature is a kshatriya, ki nahi? Are you a kshatriya? No? Yes. Your innate nature is of a kshatriya. You have fought so many wars. You have defeated so many enemies. That is your innate nature. Now, this stand which you are taking now at this moment is against your own innate nature. And this is going to be a temporary feeling in your mind. So for the whole of your life, you yourself will blame yourself that why did I act like that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Because Sri Krishna knew that the fear of infamy and derision was deeply ingrained in human psyche. Everybody is afraid. Arjuna was no exception. History is full of so many stories, be it love or renunciation, sannyas. The fear in human mind has always been and is there today also is what people will say. Log kya kahenge? Anything happens in our life, the first question our parents used to ask us, Hari, tum kiya hai, but log kya kahenge? Now we also ask the same thing to our children. Oh, fine, what you have done, but what will people say? Have you thought about it? So Krishna is cautioning Arjuna not to fall prey to disrepute, for then not only will his enemies, but all his friends will also defame him if he leaves the battlefield and withdraw from the battle of Kurukshetra. Further, Slok 37, Paramatma says, now what is the consequence? What is the consequence of war? That Paramatma is saying. हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः. Lord says, O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, there could be two consequences of this war. Consequence number one, you will either get killed on the battlefield. But if that happens, then you will get entry into the heaven. Because while performing your duty as a Kshatriya, you have died in a Dharmama Yuddha, so you will get entry into the heaven. Swarga Dvama Pavartam, that we have seen already. Or you will vanquish your enemies. If that possibility happens, then you will enjoy the kingdom and establish the righteousness for which we are fighting this war. So either way, you will be in a win-win situation. If you die, heaven. If you win over your enemies, kill them, then you enjoy the kingdom and establish the righteousness in this kingdom. And hence, Uttishta, get up with firm determination and fight. Now in our day-to-day life, we also notice this, that in family disputes, harsh words pierce like arrows. However close the relative may be, if he uses some harsh words against us, they pierce like arrows in us. You wish to escape the situation in despair that time. Like Arjuna wanted to run away, you also want to run away from that situation that time. But we need to look at this from the viewpoint of Guru and Shishya. This dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna, we should see it from the perspective of Guru and Shishya dialogue. Guru-Shishya relationship is the most remarkable and no other relationship can be compared with it. Everything else that we achieve or attain in this world leaves us, but the grace and wisdom bestowed by Guru leads us to the realization of Parabrahma. Just everything what we earn, what we get in this world, we have to leave it here only. But the grace and wisdom that we get from our Guru, that leads us to the realization of Parabrahma, from whom we actually have never been away, but we didn't know that. So if the bond between Guru and disciple is deep enough, then the seed of wisdom is bound to bear the fruits. However, the soil also needs to be fertile. The Shishya also should be capable, no? So the soil needs to be fertile as well. If the ground is full of gravel and stones, the seeds of high quality, of course, will not sprout. Likewise, the ground of intellect needs to be made fertile through the cultivation of love, faith, surrender, seva, service, so that the Guru sows the seed of knowledge and it will most certainly yield the fruit of moksha. So this is the magic of relationship between Guru and Shishya. And that is what the relationship was between Krishna and Arjuna. Slok number 38, Paramatma continues. Oh, this is a wonderful shloka. As Pujya Guru Swamiji says, Gita padhe padhaye aur jivan mein laaye. This is one shlok which we should try to bring in our life. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papamavapsyasi. Naivam papamavapsyasi. Paramatma says, sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papamavapsyasi. Krutva. Krutva means to do something. Tata. Thereof. Then after yuddhaya, for the sake of fighting, yujyasva, to get engaged in fighting, of course, here. Evam, in this way, papam, the sinful karma bandha, avapsasi, you will get. So Paramatma says, having made yourself alike in pain and pleasure, sukha dukkhe same krutva, profit and loss, labha labho, labh and alabh, alabh is loss, victory and defeat, jaya jayo. Engage in this great war and you will be freed from your sins. So don't look at this war from sukha, dukkha, labha, hani, jaya, parajaya. Take it only as your kartavya karma, as your prescribed duty, and get engaged in this great war. Then you will be freed from your sins. Then you will not get any pap. This shloka, Paramatma, Shri Krishna Bhagavan, is again elevating Arjuna's mind, filling his mind with his intellect with the light of knowledge. This is a great piece of knowledge. The Lord says that there is a strong stench of egoism in being concerned with my victory, my defeat, my fame, my infamy. This concern for my, me, has a strong bad smell of ego. That I may not be victorious is fear. That I should be victorious is vasana, force of desire. And Sri Krishna is asking Arjuna to rise above all this I and my and regard everything seemingly duality, sukha dukkha, jaya parajaya, labh labho, all that, be it pleasure or pain, victory or defeat, profit or loss, in the same way, equanimity. See, all that you experience in the dream becomes meaningless as soon as you wake up. We discussed this, isn't it? Irrespective of whether you were victorious in your dream or you suffered a huge loss in your dream, it becomes meaningless as soon as you wake up from the dream. Whether you dreamed of being an emperor in the dream or you dreamed of being a pauper or a beggar in the dream, as soon as you wake up, the dream is forgotten in an instant. Take this also as a long dream. Indeed, our battle for life, these dualities of pleasure and pain, etc., do not matter, because in the end, it is just a dream. And just perform your duty. That is most important. Don't look at sukha, dukkha, jaya, parajaya, labh, hani. Perform your duty. And be assured that you will not incur any sin in doing so. But if you keep your eyes on sukha, pleasure, labh, victory, then you will incur sin. But considering both as same, similar, equanimity, then you will not incur sin. So this is a great mantra Paramatma has given to us for living, for following in our day-to-day life as well. Provided you act with an equanimous mind, neither motivated by fear of defeat nor any desire to win. It is the desire that creates the bondage. Equanimity gets you the moksha, on the contrary. So if you want to gain moksha, every activity that we perform in the life should follow this mantra of sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jayaji. And then tato yuddhaya yaso. We don't do war, but yuddhaya here is our kartavya karma, our prescribed duty. So the law of karma is applicable as long as you perform your karma with a sense of doership. Maine kiya, I have done it. If you are the doer, then you will be the receiver of consequences, obviously. Whatever karmas have been done and you say, I have done this karma, then you are the receiver of consequences of those karmas. And your own mind may give you the fruits. For example, if you do a virtuous act, sattvic act, your mind feels good. Very nice. I have done a good job today. You do something wicked, bad, and your mind feels fearful. I have done something wrong. This is a mind game. Every thief is gripped by the fear of getting caught. Now, whether he really gets caught or not, his mind has already punished him with the whip of fear and stress. See, it is our subconscious mind that inspires the act performed by our conscious mind. Our subconscious mind is the most important thing. And Sri Krishna is saying that the one who has transcendented his mind and realized his real self, his Swa, gets freed from the sense of doership. So our effort should be to get rid of from the sense of doership so that we don't have to face the consequences. And for that, the rule is Sukha Dukhe Samay Krutva Labha Labho Jaya. Then he does not remain a doer anymore. Like the kernel of rice is separate from the covering husk. When you see the rice, the brain, the bran. Likewise, although you reside within this mind, you are nevertheless distinct from your mind. The mind acts according to the sanskars lying in our subconscious mind. So our mind, it acts according to the sanskars which are lying in our subconscious layers. There are several such subconscious layers. You may get the part of fruit of your action instantaneously, immediately. That karma phala which we get instantaneously is called kriyaman. Whereas you receive the reminder in future. In future when? It is not in your hands. The Prakriti decides when to give that remaining of your karma phala in future. Maybe not in this life, maybe in next life also. We don't know when. It is not in our hands at all. And the sum total of all of our karmas, not only of this life, but all of our previous lives, it is referred to as sanchit, deposit, sanchit. And it lies in our subconscious mind. All the sanchits of our previous lives as well as this life are lying in our subconscious mind in the form of sanchit. And when they prop up as a karma phala, we call it prarabdha. When we cannot find answer as to why a person who has done so exceedingly well in his exam, why he failed in the interview for a job, he secured number 1 in his university, but in the job interview, one who was not having any number, an ordinary person, he got the job, and this number 1 fellow did not get the job. Prarabdha. His previous karma phala has propped up at a wrong time for him, but that is what we call as prarabdha. So we have 3 things to remember: kriyaman, sanchit, and prarabdha. Now Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna, if knowing this you perform your karma, sukha dukkha samay krutva labha labho, with an attitude of non-doership, you will not have to bear any sins. He is now focusing on karma and has retracted from that body, soul, heaven, hell. Shri Krishna is changing the track in almost every alternate shloka, and is touching all sides of human psychology. First he spoke about body and soul, then heaven and hell, then his duty as a warrior and all that. Now Sri Krishna always lived in the present, in the moment. No past, no future for him. A psychotherapist after all, great psychotherapist. After all, although he had pledged that he would not use any weapons in the war, he had not promised that I will not use my brain. And that is what he is doing now. He is using his brain to tell Arjuna that what you are doing is wrong. Has he used any weapon in telling this? No, he is only talking. He is using his brain. And it is not the weapon, but the brain behind the weapon that wins the war. You must have heard that the pain is mightier than the sword. Isn't it? We heard it many times. So for us, the message in this shloka is the battle of our life can be won only by our intellect, our wisdom, and not by any weapons. What weapons we have, which we consider as weapon? By weapon I mean wealth, our position, our prestige. We think that with these weapons, we can win the war of life. Paramatma says, no, you are mistaken. You can win your battlefield of your battle of your life with intellect, with wisdom. We need wisdom that discriminates between real and unreal, truth and untruth to successfully sail through this battle of life. But Arjuna was a very fortunate person that he had a good friend like Krishna who was always advising him on what is to be done in life. Do we have anyone like this in our life who can keep correcting us, who will keep advising us every now and then to bring us on the right track? We can search and find somebody. A small story about it. Somebody who can convert complexity of life to simplicity. There was a boy. His name was Suraj. He went to his teacher and asked, "Sir, how many friends does a person need? Just one or many?" His teacher replied to him saying that, "That's a very simple question. You will know the answer for yourself. Come with me. Come." The teacher he took the student, that Suraj, to a nearby garden. Pointing to an apple tree, he said, "You will get your answer. But before that, could you bring me an apple from the highest branch of this apple tree? I want that apple which is there at the top. Can you bring it for me?" Suraj looked up at the tree and with very evident disappointment on his face, he said, "Sir, I really don't want to bring you an apple. I really want to bring, but I'm unable to bring because it's too high. I cannot bring." Then teacher said, "Why don't you ask your friends to help you for this? You can call your friend." So this fellow Suraj, he got excited and he ran to his friends. He reached out to one of his friends and asked for his help, that I want to bring that apple from the top branch. My teacher wants to have it. So can you help me? Can we both work together and bring that apple? So the two fellows, Suraj and his friend, they tried standing on each other's shoulders one by one, still could not reach the uppermost branch of that apple tree. Soon both got exhausted and felt discouraged. Suraj looked at his teacher and said, "Sir, I cannot get to that branch. What should I do now?" The teacher replied, "Do you have any other friends, any more friends, or this is the only one you have?" With a renewed vigor, Suraj got up and he went back to bring some more of his friends. In their attempt to reach the branch, all the friends started to make a variety of formation, like we see in that Dayandi, standing on one another's shoulders and backs. But nothing seemed to work. The branch was so high to reach that pyramid created by these kids soon crumbled and they could not get that apple. Ultimately, they got all tired and had lost all the hopes of reaching that branch. Seeing this, teacher called Suraj back and asked, "So did you get your answer? Do you understand now how many friends does a person need?" Suraj responded, "Yes, sir, I got the answer. A person needs to have a lot of friends so that together they can try and solve any problem." The teacher shook his head in disapproval. Wrong. With a smile on his face, the teacher said, "Of course, you should have a lot of friends, so that among them, there would be at least one smart person who would figure out to bring a ladder. Why you're climbing on each other's shoulder and all that? Why none of your friends thought that you can bring a ladder and take that apple from the top branch?" A man is known by the company he keeps. He gets influenced directly or indirectly by the people he surrounds himself with. So what kind of people we are surrounding ourselves with? If we are surrounded all Buddha people, then we will also become Buddha. We cannot rise above this. Our intellect level will remain the same as it is today. It is thus highly important to be in the company of those who inspire us to push past our boundaries. and be better than what we are really today. A real friend should have your interest in the heart and should help you to get more and more elevated with every passing moment, with every passing day. Further, slok number 39. एषा ते विहिता सांख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे मां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्म बंधम प्रहास्यसि. Now, Isha means all this. Te means to you, Arjuna. Abhita has been informed, has been described. Sankhya, as per the Sankhya Yoga, as per the Jnana Yoga. That's means all these teachings which I have given you until now, until slok number 38, was according to the Sankhya Yoga. Now, Isha te bhita Sankhya buddhir yogitmam pru. Further, buddhya yukto yeya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. The Lord says to Arjuna, so far I have been describing the path of jnana knowledge to you. But now I will explain the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Means the action done without any desire or expectation of fruits. So that your intellect can destroy all the bondages of karma. This equanimity has been explained in the context of knowledge, Sankhya, spiritualism, until all these shlokas what we have studied so far. Now listen to it in the context of Karma Yoga and waste no time in putting your thoughts into action. It is the practice of Karma Yoga which will liberate you from the bondage of karma, from the bondage of your karma. Now here the word Sankhya, it needs some explanation again. We discussed Sankhya on the first day, but it needs some more explanation. Sankhya Shastra is one of the oldest of 6 Hindu Shastras and explains clearly the difference between Prakriti and Purush, God and nature, calling both as eternal and mutually exclusive, but impliedly acknowledging the primeness of Purush over Prakriti. Because it is due to the non-interfering Purush that the Prakriti works. Mere presence of Purush makes Prakriti to work. Sankhya Shastra explains at length that Purush and Prakriti, and also the way to attain moksha. There is a close relationship between Sankhya and Yoga. There is a close relationship. It is thus that the Lord tells Arjuna that Sankhya-based knowledge of the self. What is Sankhya-based knowledge of the self? The knowledge of seeing God in all matters, all beings, is the knowledge based on Sankhya. And that is to be done through detachment, which detachment and freedom can be won and can be explained. God is repeatedly telling Arjuna that the only path, only sin is to act selfishly. And the main means to attain punya, the virtue, is to act unselfishly and with the true sense of sacrifice. Perform your duty as if you are performing a yajna. Sankhya Yoga is the knowledge and a means to attain liberation. The central idea of this shloka is that in Sankhya Yoga, the knowledge of attaining equanimity of mind has been explained. Now listen how this equanimity is attained through Karma Yoga. In Sankhya Yoga, it is attained by seeing God in all matters, that is the power that operates the nature. And in Karma Yoga, God is seen by purifying the mind with Nishkam Karma. But both will lead you to equanimity. One thing is sure, as long as we are alive, we cannot stay without performing karma, isn't it? But is it possible that these actions happen, yet there is no bondage of karma? Why go far? See, engrossed in samadhi all his life. Have you seen any photo of Krishna when he is sitting in Samadhi. On the contrary, his life was full of diversified, colorful actions. He had to deal with one or the other troublemaker throughout his life, right from his childhood. Then be it Bakasur or his own uncle Kamsa, followed by several others. At times he fought with his own hands himself. And there was occasion also when he fled the battlefield. He ran away from the battlefield. Of course, there is a solid reason for that. And hence his name is Ranchhod Das. One of the names of Krishna is Ranchhod Das, one who has run away from the Rana. Shri Krishna could do that also. Why did he do that? He did that because when he was living in Mathura, these Rakshasas, demons, were repeatedly attacking on Mathura several times to kill Krishna. And in the process, all the Mathura Nivasis, residents of Mathura, were put to great trouble. Every now and then there is a war, somebody is attacking. So he said, why? Because of me, all should come in problem. Better I go away from here. Then he ran away from Mathura. He left Mathura. So whatever he did, Krishna, in his life, he did it with love and wisdom. That is important. With no regrets. He did not regret any of his actions. Sri Krishna was the embodiment of the supreme consciousness, flawlessly perfect and complete in the real sense of the word, complete and perfect. Devotees all over the world, they are in the quest to attain this Krishna Chaitanya. That's why you see a lot of European Americans also dancing to Krishna bhajanas. They have understood Krishna. They want to be like him. And he performed all his life actions with detachment. That is most important. Being firmly established in the absolute truth, securely rooted in the eternal, indestructible, omnipresent existence. Here Shri Krishna is himself revealing the mystery of his awakened consciousness to Arjuna. Do everything without attachment, like Krishna himself did. He had no, he did not have any attachment with Yashoda, with Radha, with anybody, with gopis or with anybody. When he was there, but he left that, no attachment. Okay, let us proceed with slok number 40 now. Neha vikramanaşosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Paramatma says, on this path, the effort never goes west. On which path? This Nishkam Karma Yoga path, nothing goes west. Abhikrama, in trying, in endeavoring, Nasha is loss, Asti, there is, Pratyavaya, that means the reverse action. Dharmasya, Trayate, Trayate is to release, Mahato, from very great, Bhayat is the fear. Paramatma says, on this path, the effort never goes west. And there is no failure also. Even a little effort towards spiritual awareness will yield protection from the greatest fears of life. Trayate Mahato Bhayat. For me personally, this is one of the most memorable shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. This shloka, Neha Bhikkamanashosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Swalpamapasya Dharmasya. Swalpa, very little. Trayate Mahato Bhayat. It will take a lifetime on spiritual path to appreciate the applicability of this very aspect on our human life, what Paramatma has conveyed in this shloka. When we meditate on Lord within us, even for a short time every day, swalpa, short time, this effort is not wasted. Even if we meditate only 30 minutes every morning and try to practice the allied spiritual discipline to a small extent during the day. Take any good, all the shlokas are good, of course, but any shloka which you like the most. For example, if you like this shloka, take one charan of this shloka or this shloka and meditate on it every day for 30 minutes. Swalpamasya, dharmasya. If we do that as a habit, this can go a long way in guarding us against many fears which are known or unknown. and which keep lurking in our consciousness. Most of us have fear of losing what we believe gives us security. Those who go after money are doing so under the impression that more money means more security. So this is the way they think is to get secured. There are others who are afraid of losing their youth. मैं कैसा दिखता हूँ, झुर्रियां पड़ गई, आँख के नीचे काला हो गया, something like that. Beauty has nothing to do with the age. We can be beautiful in childhood, in youth, and in old age to the extent that we are unselfish. To be sure, we must find the source of security within ourselves. The message given by Krishna in Gita is simple and profound. If the time is bad today for you, try to contribute the best you can to the welfare of those around you. And if the time is good for you today, also try to contribute the best you can to the welfare of those around you. You can serve others no matter whether the times are good or the times are bad. This is the choice which we make in order to find security within ourselves. So this is another mantra Paramatma has given. Swalpam apyasya. A very small thing can also give you good benefit, can achieve miracles. There is a big heap of grass, for example. Can it face a small fire from the matchstick? Matchstick is so small. The heap of grass is so huge. But swalpam apyasya. Little fire can destroy the whole grass heap. It may be very dark that you cannot see anything around you. But can the darkness face the little light of a little candle? Swalpam apyasya. Similarly, if there is fight between knowledge and ignorance, can the ignorance any time win over the knowledge? Little knowledge can destroy the ignorance. Isn't it? Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little practice of this discipline of dharma protects one from the greatest danger of birth and death. That is the greatest fear we have. We want moksha, we don't want to come back to the cycle of birth and death. It protects us from that. Karma bandham prahasyasi. By the equanimity, the man shakes off the shackles of karma forever, provided he follows the principle of equanimity. Nihabhikrama nashosti. There is no loss of these efforts that we take in Nishkam Karma Yoga in equanimity. They never go west. Even little follow of this dharma of equanimity, Nishkam Karma Yoga, will save you from the greatest fears of life. And pratyavayona vidyate. There is no adverse reaction, no side effect, so as to say, of this effort. Like mantras, many mantras may have side effect, bad effect, reverse effect. They say, chanting mantra for putra prapti. Somebody is not having any issue and the pujari, the priest asks him to chant a particular mantra. And this fellow has never learned Sanskrit, so he chants Sanskrit shlok wrongly. His pronunciation is bad, wrong. It may cause an adverse effect. Either he will not get son or daughter, or if it is born, it may have some lacuna, some problem in his body. This is the reverse action of mantras. But this equanimity, Nishkam Karma Yoga, no reverse action. Pratyavayona vidyate. So karma without having any desire for karma phala becomes equanimous, and so there is no adverse result of efforts because we are doing all this without any karma phala, without the sense of doership. So why will there be any reverse reaction then? See, Bhagavad Gita attaches great importance to equanimity, samatva. According to Gita, person who has acquired internal and external equanimity is a yogi. Samatva yoga uchyate. That's what we study in this adhyaya only. He is the high-level soul. Gita says even if a man is complete with all sattvic qualities, but if he does not gain equanimity, according to Gita, he cannot be called as a perfect soul. So Bhagavad Gita attaches great importance to equanimity of mind. No discrimination whatsoever at all. Okay. Further, look number 41. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिरेकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. Paramatma says, व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिरेकेह कुरु नन्दन. Vyavasayatmika, buddhi which is single pointed. Buddhi is intelligence. Eka is one. Ananta is unlimited. Avyavasayina, buddhi which has many branches. So Paramatma says, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha puranandana bahushakha yanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. The word is avyavasayinam. A is lost in the sandhi of two words as per Sanskrit rules. So those who follow this path, Arjuna, who resolve deep within themselves to seek me alone, that is the only thought in their mind, single pointedly they think about me only, attaining me only, they attain singleness of purpose, that is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. For those who lack this resolution, the decision of life are many branched and endless. See, if you think of getting your desires fulfilled from the external material world, the list is long, limitless, isn't it? So it has many branches. Vyavasayatmika buddhi rike kurunandana bhushakha yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. The seeker of God realization, the intellect is determinate, firm and single pointed. Why it is single pointed? Krishna says, look at the lives of worldly people whose minds are many pointed, bhushakha, jumping like a grasshopper from one blade of grass to another. The worldly people mostly have desires related to personal pleasures, profit, prestige, position, power, etc., which can be never single pointed. Because each desire has several options of getting fulfilled. For example, money. Earning money, there are several options. Doing job, doing business, doing some hanky-panky here and there, corruption here and there, cheating somebody here and there, doing fraud some here and there. So earning money can be done in many times, many ways. So that is not one buddhi. Each kamana can be applied in bhushakha. The human mind is therefore never is at peace in that case. Anxiety kills the stillness, the peace of mind. But in comparison, the spiritual life has only one decision to make. Attaining Paramatma is the sole objective of my life. Full stop. No other desire. Attaining Paramatma is the desire. What else can be there in that mind? Even he has already cut off himself from the material world, and if he is living his spiritual life with this single thought, that is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Nishchayatmak Buddhi. When the intellect is filled with this single thought, it is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. While the intellect filled with numerous desires, kamanas related to material world is called Avyavasayatmika Buddhi. Once we make the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, our actions start getting changed. We gain skill of functioning under both hostile and favorable circumstances. Because our objective is clear in our mind. Attaining Paramatma is the only objective. So whether the circumstances are hostile or favorable, I don't care. Attaining that goal is the only objective of my life. If we make decision to make our life based on meditation, to repeat this mantra as often as we can, to restrain senses vigilantly, and put the welfare of those around us first. Not become selfish, but think about others first. Gita says, we need not have any doubt about the outcome. We need not be anxious about the result, because that is God's responsibility. If you are following every message of Krishna and Gita, then he also has some responsibility, no? Boss, I am following everything that you are asking me to do. Please take some responsibility to help me now. I am following you. in word and spirit. So, further responsibility of Lord, self-realization, Atma-Jnana, in any case comes through the grace of Lord only. However best tries we do, unless we have the grace of Lord, we cannot have that Atma-Jnana, self-realization. But that God is always present in us. Once He bestows us with His grace, we can attain that Atma-Jnana provided we follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Now the question is, have you ever seen the God? What does He look like? Have you ever wondered what it takes to feel His presence? You might not have seen, but have you ever felt His presence? That is, God is there. His presence can be felt through power of prayer. Power of prayer. Here's a small story again. An old woman who had a sick son lying on the bed at home, she goes to a vegetable vendor, to a vegetable shop. But she does not have any money to buy the vegetables. So she requests the shopkeeper to lend the vegetables, even telling him that her only son is sick and he is without food for a day. But the shopkeeper refuses. On the repeated request, the shopkeeper says, if you have any valuable thing, put it on this weighing scale. I will give you vegetables equal to its weight. The old woman thought for a while. She did not have anything like that. After thinking for some time, she takes out a piece of paper, writes something on that piece of paper, and puts it on the one side of the scale, taraju. Seeing this, the shopkeeper starts laughing. You are putting a paper on one side of the balance? Yet, he picks up some vegetables and puts them on the other side of the taraju, on the other side of the scale. And he is amazed. The paper pan remains at the bottom and the vegetable pan goes up. Then he adds some more vegetable, but the paper pan does not go up. Now the shopkeeper puts some other vegetables, more vegetables, but the scale on the paper side still remains at the bottom. Even after adding vegetables again and again, when the pan on the paper side does not rise, the shopkeeper gets fed up. Then he picks up that piece of paper and reads what is written on that. What this old lady has written on this paper. The paper read like this. Oh dear God, you are in charge of taking care of me. Everything is in your hands now. This is the prayer she wrote. The shopkeeper is very surprised to read this. The shopkeeper is unable to believe his eyes and he reads that paper again and again. But when he does not understand anything, he gives the whole vegetable that is there in his scale to the old woman without saying anything. Le jao, bhai, le jao. Another customer was also standing there, watching all this, what was going on. He explained to the shopkeeper, don't be surprised. That old lady had written a heartfelt prayer on the paper. And only God knows the value of prayer. We need to pray to the God. We need to request Him to help us experience His presence in our life with full devotion, with full faith in Him, like that old lady had. Whether it is an hour or a minute, if it is done with the true heart, God will definitely help us. In this story, the vegetable seller, he also experienced the presence of God in the form of that customer's prayer. See, we cannot see God directly, but we can feel His presence through some subtle vibrations. That's why I always tell people who do Gita Parayan to keep an empty chair when you are doing Gita Parayan. Why? To leave the chair empty for Lord Krishna to occupy that chair and listen to your Bhagavad Gita Parayan. I have sat with many groups in my life and many of them have felt some sensation during recitation of some adhyay in between. 10th adhyay, Vibhuti Yoga, or 11th Adhyay, Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga, reading some Adhyay, they feel some vibration, some sensation. I have personally not experienced myself, but people say this. So we need to practice this. Also, we need to practice silence to hear him. Because the language of God is silence. Language of God is silence, which is complete in itself. Often people have the excuse that, oh, we don't have time. But the truth is that there is no time to remember God. In fact, we need to make God as our partner in every activity that we do. We take food, no? We read paper, no? So in every activity, you make him as your partner. When we think of him, our perception, our problems also start getting changed. And we now see it as an opportunity to excel. If we take him as a partner in all the actions that we take. So the prayer made from the heart full of love and devotion for God never goes unheeded. That is the lesson we need to learn. Okay, let us take a couple of more shlokas. Slok number 42 and 43 we can read together because they are interrelated. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadante vipaschitah vedavatah partha nanyadasti iti vadinah. And कामात्मानस्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति. So further, Vedavadartah Partha Nanyadasti iti vadinah. Their interest in Vedas is limited only to those chapters, those parts of Vedas which deal with earthly pleasures and heavenly pleasures. Because their objective is getting pleasure only. Their objective of life is to enjoy life here and thereafter to enjoy the heavenly pleasures rather than to attain God realization. God realization has not been on their agenda at any time. Pleasure was the only thing that was on their agenda. Yamimam pushyatam vacham pravadanta vipaschita. They cannot discriminate between real and unreal, the perishable and imperishable. Such unwise people, they utter flowery language, flowery word, pushpitam vacham of Vedas, which describes and recommends various acts for the attainment of pleasure and prosperity. Now, many of us read the pothi of some guru, of some Maharaj or some Swamiji. It explains right from the birth of that saint, what help he has given to his bhaktas, what yoga sadhana he has done, all sorts of things. And in the end, it talks about the falashruti, what benefit you will gain if you read this katha, this pothi, then what benefits you will gain. So these people who are called as Vedavadartha by Paramatma, they read only that last chapter which talks about falashruti, what you will gain. They are not interested in other things of Vedas. They are interested in only sakam karma, what I will gain when I am alive and how I can gain swarga when I am dead. Because my objective of life is to enjoy here and enjoy when I am dead. Pushpita means the language is very attractive, flowery, and tempts people to follow and take such recommended actions. But flower is flower, it is not a fruit. The fruit is gained when you get rid of this cycle of birth and death. But you are still at flower stage only, and these people are happy at that. Janma karma phala pradam. That flowery way, instead of giving any permanent and eternal fruit, gives fruit which results in the wheel of birth and death. So it's a very temporary solution. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Bhogeshwarya Gatim Prati. These actions recommended are quite complex. You have to take a lot of efforts. It's not very easy also to perform the sakam karma prescribed in Vedas. It's not very easy. But these people are prepared for that. If somebody asks in Veda to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do some kind of puja here and there, chant mantra 1,000 times, they'll say, okay, boss, we'll do it. Because their objective is to get pleasure. So it involves number of rituals for attainment of pleasures and prosperity, which involves some very strenuous labor. But they are prepared to do that also. Because they are all Veda Vadartha, and their objective of life here, as well as when they are dead, is to have pleasure only. Realization God is not on their life. Paramatma calls such people as Kamatmana. Okay, we can take one more slok. Slok number 44. Paramatma says further in slok 44, भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया परुतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. Now Paramatma says those whose minds are swept away by the pursuit of pleasures and power are incapable of following the supreme goal and will not attain samadhi. One of the beautiful things of Bhagavad Gita is that it does not say you should do this or you should not do this. Never instructs. Krishna never instructs. Sri Krishna is just showing a mirror to us. If you do this, you will get this. If you do that, you will get that. You decide what to do. Choice is yours. Sri Krishna says, if you want joy, security, wisdom, then this is the path. But if you want sorrow, if you want insecurity, if you want despair, then that is the path. Which path you want to take? Choice is yours. I am not forcing. In this shloka, as well as in slok 42 and 43, Shri Krishna has described those who will not attain samadhi. Samadho na vidhiyate. They will not attain samadhi. Those who say that there is nothing in this world, those who say that there is no God, no other life than eating, drinking, and making merry, then dying someday, such people will not attain samadhi. When people say they are atheist, they don't believe in God, we should actually get surprised. Because even to say that one is an atheist, it requires a definite experience, no? Why you say this? In order to say that there is no one in our deeper consciousness, we have to go there in your own deeper consciousness and knock the door. Anyone inside there, please? And if you find no one at home, then you can say I am atheist. But of those who tell you that they are atheist, you ask them a question. Don't you believe in yourself? They will invariably say, of course, we believe in ourselves. Then tell them, then you believe in God. If you believe in yourself, that means you believe in God. Full stop. When Gita uses the terms God, Lord, Ishwar, Bhagwan, it is not referring to someone out there. It is referring to someone who is inside us all the time, who is nearer to us than our own body, dearer to us than our own life. Then how can you say I am atheist? When our heart is full of selfish desires and we are running after sense gratification, we cannot see the underlying principle of existence of that divine. This is a significance word Kamatmana, Paramatma has used. One whose soul is clouded over by selfish desires, Kamatmana. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was fond of saying that Ram, the principle of abiding joy, and the Kama, that means Kamana, the selfish desire, cannot live together. Ram and Kam cannot exist, cannot live together. Now this is difficult to understand for many of us because we feel that even if Ram is to be brought in our life, Kam can be accommodated somewhere in the part of our heart. We can cover it so that he cannot be seen. But Kam can also exist with Ram. But every sant, every Swami will say that it must be either Ram or Kam. We cannot have both of them together. Impossible. Here also, we have to be prepared for a long period of spiritual development before the Kam finally packs up his belongings and leaves our heart to some unknown place of which we don't know the address also. So you should go out forever. But after all, we are all human beings. If the old urges and desires somehow come back to us due to some old samskars of this life or previous life still weighing on us, the best way to take care of such urges, such desires which suddenly prop up, is to go for a long, brisk walk, repeating the mantra which you usually chant. If you say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, keep chanting that mantra, go for a long walk, do some brisk walking till that desire dies out in your mind. The game of spiritual sadhana is a game to be played with a lot of patience and confidence. Yes, I can win over this game. Do we have it? Do we have the confidence and patience in us that we can follow all the messages of Paramatma and attain Him? Confidence and patience is a must. So let us ask ourselves, without confidence and patience, can we achieve the goal of our life? Can you not keep this as objective of keeping confidence and patience in every activity in our day-to-day life? Whatever I will do it with great confidence. Whatever I will do with great patience. Small story again. Long time ago, when the education system was based on tradition of Guru and Shishya, master and disciple, one Shishya's education was about to get completed in his Guru's ashram. He had to leave the ashram for his home in 4 days. On the third day, when he got up after receiving his lessons from Guru that day, in the evening, when it was almost dark, the Guru was trying to teach his disciple one last lesson before leaving the ashram. He said to this disciple, "Come, let's go to the temple." This disciple said, "Gurudev, it has become very dark. Even the stairs of the temple will not be visible." The Guru said, "Light a lamp and carry it along. We can go to temple." So disciple, he lit a lamp, put it on his hand. And as soon as the disciple reached the first step of the temple, the Guru extinguished the lamp. The disciple was taken aback. He asked his master hesitantly, "Pardon me, Gurudev, but why did you put up the lamp out? I am unable to understand. Now, how will we climb the steps of the temple in this intense darkness?" The Guru then gave him his philosophy for the life. He said, when you put your foot on the first step, you will keep getting your footing on the next step. It is better to accept darkness than the light from a lamp lit by someone else. Find your own path in the darkness. And if you keep doing so, a new lamp will be lit within you. Don't depend on the light of the lamp lit by somebody else. You have to light the lamp within you. So by falling and colliding in the darkness, in the midst of inconveniences, your self-confidence will be strengthened. This is a teaching for us in the life. And the goal will be illuminated. If you take the help of this lamp, you will not fall. Yes, okay, agreed, you will not fall. But your goal will be lost. That is why I put out the lamp in your hand. Now this was an eye-opening for the disciple, for the Shishya. He then went ahead in the darkness without fear. First step, second step, then he was confident. Oh, I don't need light. I can climb without light. That day, the disciple reached his goal with his inner guidance. In that moment, the spirit of walking on the paths filled with darkness was awakened within him. Once a person walks on his path to the destination, holding someone's hand, he will always need support in his life. Once he makes it a habit to walk alone on his path of spirituality, he knows he may stumble, he may fall down, but he will know how to go ahead. These days, we wish to take our children to the destination as soon as early as possible. But the real test of life is on the pathways, and it teaches us the spirit of sticking to the goal, the qualities of patience, sacrifice, and acceptance in every situation. That develops in us by walking on this path. You can learn, you can enjoy all this when you take up the journey on your own without external help. Is our excessive guidance depriving our children of this wonderful experience, of their enjoyment of going alone, of their self-confidence, of their patience? Are we depriving them of all this? We should remember that our confidence in our ability to succeed is an important factor in achieving our goals. Same is true for all people, including our children, isn't it? In Gita Pariwar, those who pass Gita Vrati Pariksha exam, we have a group wherein we guide people who go to Sringeri for Sringeri Peeth exam. So I always tell them that the journey is more interesting. Your preparation for the Sringeri exam, this period of preparation is more interesting than getting the certificate from Sringeri. Enjoy this journey. And even if you stumble, the days when you are working so hard for the exam are the days which you will remember for the whole of your life. The moment you get the certificate, your charm will be lost. This charm is lost when you get the certificate. But you will remember always these days of preparation, what you are doing now, and which have taught you so many lessons in the life. But if you keep taking help from everybody on every nook and corner of your life, then you will not learn anything. Try to learn on your own, walk on your own path. Have patience and confidence. I think we should stop here. And now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
Shri Krishna, Pranam Bhaiya. It's a really great interpretation of Sankhya Yoga. Each and every word was heart touching. Thank you so much once again. We are celebrating 5-year completion of our Learngeeta program. So go on 5.learngeeta.com and register your event for this celebration. We have great start of our new batch of Learngeeta on 5th of September with additional 11 new time slots. So in different languages. So we have now 33 time slots on the occasion of auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan. Gift your brother or your sister Geeta class. And now I request Vikas Dada, shall we proceed for question answer session?
Yeah, sure.
You can raise your hand and ask any question related to our interpretation, and Bhaiya will give you answer. Renu Didi has raised.
जी भैया भैया बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन और बहुत सारे डाउट क्लियर हुए मेरे। एक ये पूछना है कि जब सुबह उठकर जाप में बैठते हैं थोड़ी देर के बाद में भैया मन में काम याद आने लग जाते हैं, घर के ये काम करना है, ये काम करना है, तो ऐसा क्यों होता है ये?
ऐसा इसलिए होता है कि मन एक जगह स्थिर नहीं होता है। अर्जुन ने यही सवाल पूछा था भगवान श्री कृष्ण से, तो परमात्मा ने उसका उत्तर दिया था अभ्यास से वैराग्य। अभ्यास और वैराग्य ये दो चीजें हैं जो मन को स्थिर करने में हमारी सहायता कर सकती हैं। अभ्यास मतलब वही चीज फिर से करते रहना, प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस। फिर सिट फॉर मेडिटेशन, जब आप मेडिटेशन के लिए बैठती हैं या कोई अच्छा काम करने के लिए बैठती है तो मन किसी पिज्जा हट में जाके पिज्जा खाने लगता है, या थिएटर में जाके सिनेमा देखने लगता है। मन तो कहीं भी जा सकता है ना, मन चांद पे भी जा सकता है। जहां पे भी जाएगा मन उसको पकड़ के फिर से लाना, फिर से भागे, फिर से पकड़ के लाना, फिर से भागे, फिर से पकड़ के लाना। आखिर में मन थक जाता है, मन को समझ में आता है ये बंदा कुछ मानने वाला नहीं है, तो वो यहीं बैठा रहना ठीक है अभी। तो ये अभ्यास है। और वैराग्य, वैराग्य मतलब नॉट हिमालय पे जाके वैराग्य नहीं, संसार में रहते हुए भी डिटैचमेंट फ्रॉम अटैचमेंट, इट्स वैराग्य। यदि हम हमारे सांसारिक संबंध कम से कम इंपॉर्टेंट रखें और अभ्यास करते रहे तो अभ्यास से तो कौनते हैं वैराग्य निज गृह्यते। अभ्यास और वैराग्य ये दोनों चीजें हमको हमारा लक्ष्य प्राप्त करने में सहायक होती है। ऐसा भगवान श्री कृष्ण का वचन है भगवद गीता में। यदि आपका मन अस्थिर होने लगे तो ये श्लोक याद रखिए, अभ्यास हेतु अभ्यास और वैराग्य दोनों चीज।
वही व्यवसात्मिकता बुद्धि नहीं बन पाती है। कोशिश करते हैं पर हर समय ऐसा लगता है दो चीजें एक साथ चल रही हैं। मतलब भक्ति करने बैठते हैं तो साथ साथ में कुछ और भी मन करता है, एक और भी साथ में काम चलता रहे तो हो रहा है पैरेलल। मतलब पता नहीं, वो शायद नौकरी करते थे तो इतनी मल्टीटास्किंग की सारी जिंदगी कि मन को लत पड़ गई है कि मतलब मोर देन वन थिंग एट अ टाइम आपको यू हैव टू कीप डूइंग। मतलब
That's good in your material life, but when you are in your spiritual life, now you have left your material life. When you are in spiritual life, it is better to think of only one. We said vyavasayatmika buddhi and avyavasayatmika buddhi. Two things we learned today. So we have to have our buddhi as vyavasayatmika buddhi, single pointed, single focused buddhi, attaining
एकाग्रता।
Paramatma is the sole objective of my life. Whatever else I am doing should be supporting that objective. Every work, every thought that comes to my mind, I should think first, this thought, this karma, this action is going to take me closer to the God or will throw me away from the God. You will find your own answer then. Every thought coming to your mind, wait on this. Am I going closer to the God or am I going away from Him? If you want to go closer to the God, you will obviously discard all such thoughts which will take you away from the God. So it's a matter of practice.
ओके, थैंक यू भैया, आई विल
Thank
ट्राई।
Yeah.
जी भैया बोलिए। हिरवाणी जी, AF हिरवाणी जी, अपने आप को अनम्यूट, प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड देन आस्क द क्वेश्चन।
Generally, what we are feeling, observing nowadays, that the person who is wicked, and he becomes more and more wicked, and the person who is soft to that man, he's harassing him and he's troubling like anything. Even two brothers are quarreling each other, and for a little piece of land, and they 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 why this tendency is cropping up actually, Swamiji?
You can control your own mind. You cannot control the mind of other people.
Yeah.
How can we change other people's mind? To expect that everybody will respect me in the family also or in society also, itself is a wrong expectation. The more expectations we keep in life, the more unhappy we will be. Cutting down our expectation is the short way of finding peace and happiness, satisfaction by ourselves, within ourselves. If your expectations are such that you are depending for fulfillment of those on others, then the game is out of your hands.
Right.
Something which is not in your hands, how can you get it done from others?
Right.
We see in our day-to-day life also, our son does not obey everything that we expect him to obey because he has his own thoughts, he has his own mind, he has his own agenda.
Right.
We expect as parents that our children should listen to us 100%.
Right.
They listen sometimes they don't. We feel insulted. This is not correct,
Right.
isn't it?
Right.
Because as I said, we expect so many things in our life.
Right.
We have to, if we are going to march ahead on the path of spirituality, the first thing we have to do is cut down on expectations, whether they are
Right.
material expectations or family, social, whatever expectations. If you cut down expectations, then only you will get the peace of mind, and then you will progress on the path of spirituality. An anxious mind, which is desirous of many things, will not be successful in going in spirituality. That is a fact.
But sometime we go on माफ कर देते हैं उनको, go on, but he is not bothering for anything, and he is repeating again and again. So what we should do in that case?
Avoid such people. Avoid such people if you can. If you cannot avoid, interacting with such people, then try to change your way of dealing with them. Bhagavad Gita does not say that you should surrender wholeheartedly to every such person. Otherwise, he would not ask Arjuna to fight the war. He
Right.
encouraged Arjuna to fight the war because all were baddies in front of him.
Right.
Everybody could have told Arjuna that, okay, you want moksha, na? Then don't fight the war. But he did not say that. When
Right.
others are baddies, you have to be in line with them, not become baddie as such, but you have to teach them a lesson also. That is also a part of human life.
Right.
So you have to find your own ways of how you deal with that person. From case to case, the
Right.
treatment will differ. But your objective should be clear that all these petty things, I will not allow them to disturb my ultimate objective of life of attaining Paramatma. Somebody is respecting you, somebody is insulting you. Sukha-dukhe samikruta. Remember that sloka.
Yeah.
You have to discard all these thoughts of dualities if you want to go ahead on spirituality.
But sometimes I'm seeing Vaidya, whole family is suffering, and who have done nothing wrong. Another person who is doing everything wrong, he is enjoying on the past of him also.
हाँ, होता है ना, मैंने आपको बताया ना कि 3 टाइप के कर्म होते हैं,
Yeah.
क्रियमाण, संचित और प्रारब्ध।
Yeah.
उसका उसके पिछले 7, 8, 50 जन्मों का कर्म क्या किए, तो हमको पता है क्या? हमको नहीं पता उसका बैलेंस शीट क्या है कर्मों का। हमको पता है कि ये सब बैड कर्म अभी कर रहा है, लेकिन उसने पिछले जन्म में कोई अच्छे कर्म भी किए होंगे, इसलिए उसको उसका कर्म का फल इस जन्म में मिल रहा है एज ए प्रारब्ध। तो किसका प्रारब्ध क्या हो सकता है वो हम डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते ना। हमारा खुद का प्रारब्ध हम डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते, तो बाकी को कैसे कर सकते हैं? तो इसीलिए अब हम पॉलिटिशियंस भी देखते हैं ना, बड़े बड़े गंदे पॉलिटिशियंस होते हैं, मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता किसी का, कि वो बड़े सुख में रहते हैं। हमको लगता है कि अरे इलेक्शन के बाद इलेक्शन जीत रहे हैं, सत्ता में फिर से आ रहे हैं, इतने कैसे लोग हो सकते हैं, इतने भ्रष्ट करप्ट लोग? क्योंकि उनको प्रारब्ध होता है। लेकिन जो कर्म अभी कर रहे हैं उसका फल तो उनको भुगतना पड़ेगा, इस जन्म में नहीं तो अगले जन्म में, या तो उसके अगले जन्म में। कर्म फल किसी को भी टालते नहीं आता है वो, लेकिन कब मिलेगा वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है।
Thank you very much, Vaidya.
Thank you. Please, any other questions, please?
K. Vijaya Lakshmi ji, please ask your question.
Jai Sri Krishna, sir.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, I have passed the Geeta Pathik examination. I am interested in taking my Geeta Vrati in October or November because I am in level 4 now. I want to know about what is this about Sringeri exam and Sringeri certificate. What is it, sir?
Oh, it is too early for you to know about it. But in short, I can tell you, in Sringeri is the highest peeth of Hindu religion. Our Sanatana Dharma, we follow four peethas. Sringeri is the topmost. Jagadguru Shankaracharya sits in that Sringeri peeth. When you go there for exam, the Pandits there will take your exam. First of all, 700 slokas. They will give you one word and you have to start saying from that slok onwards. They will do their hand like this, stop. Then you have to stop. Otherwise, till that time, you have to keep on reciting those slokas. Then they will give another word. Then you have to start again. This goes on continuously.
In the sequence, you have to recite the...
No, it's not necessarily in sequence. They can ask you in any random sequence also. You have to be alert.
Okay.
If you do well in that, then they will take you in front of Jagadguru Shankaracharya.
Okay.
And then Shankaracharya ji will ask you some shlokas. He will give you one word, ask you to sing that shloka. If he is satisfied, then you are passed. If he is not, then you are failed.
Are we supposed to tell the meaning of the shlokas?
No. It is only Kantastikaran, no meaning of shloka.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. When you do your Gita Vrati completing Gita Pariwar, then you join a group in Gita Pariwar only. We have made a group for Gita Vratis who want to go to Sringeri. And we assist them in all possible ways how to face Sringeri exam. We take a mock-up test of them. Yes. And most of our people, they are going to Sringeri, they come back with flying colors. Okay, next. Any other questions, please?
Geeta ji. Geeta ji.
Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Excellent explanation. I really enjoyed it today. The past few weeks you have been explaining everything on the Sankhya Yoga. Sir, आपने मोक्ष के बारे में बात किया था. Samadhi is moksha, you said. Am I right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Attaining Samadhi is moksha. Am I right?
Not really. Samadhi is not moksha. Samadhi is a step towards moksha.
Okay. Samadhi is that for people who, Sant ke liye hi hai kya? The Samadhi is only for the Sant, who by way of penance, yoga, that is dhyana, they attain the Samadhi. And what about we common people who are in the Grahastha ashram?
Okay. See, we also can enter into Samadhi. The step starts with Atma Sanyam. Indriya Nigraha and Mano Nigraha is the first step towards going towards meditation. When you are thorough in meditation, then a day comes when you enter into Samadhi. Samadhi means people around you may think that, oh, this fellow is sleeping or what. But you are having internal dialogue with your own Atma. That is the Samadhi. When you start dialogue with the Paramatma sitting in you, that's Samadhi stage. So that Samadhi stage you attain with repeated efforts in doing meditation. As I always say, take any sloka of Bhagavad-Gītā which you like the most, take one charan of it, and then sit in your meditation with that particular charan. Try to evaluate it. Try to think about that charan, that sloka in all possible ways. Try to see different instances that have happened in your life in context of that sloka. So this way you can sharpen your own intellect.
Okay, sir.
And then you can develop your own intellect in such a way that a day will come when you will know what exactly Samadhi is. But Samadhi is not moksha. Samadhi is not moksha. Samadhi is a way to attain moksha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, one more step to moksha. Okay.
Yes.
I was under the impression it is all for the Sant only. Those Sant, you go into meditation, long hours of meditation. Only for not for us.
No. Karma yoga is for samsaric people like us who are living in the families.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, sir. Got it clear, sir. Very nice. Very nice. Wonderful explanation, sir. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions, please?
I think.
Okay, you can hold your questions. You can ask in the next session also. No problem.
Once again, thank you so much, Vaidya, for your valuable guidance. It's such a nice session.
Thank you, Binaji.
And shall we proceed? Ji.
Yeah.
I would like to thank all of the backend sevis who helped us for arranging this session. And thank you so much, everyone. You all have joined on Utsav Day for this session. Thank you so much, everyone. And we really enjoyed this session. I would like to thank our technical Didi and Bhaiya for leading us with hosting this session. And we have a Ao Geeta Sevi. Let's become Geeta Sevi program on Sunday in 3 languages. So you can join that and you can book your seva with that program. And now I would like to call Geeta Shastri Didi for prayer. Geeta Didi is from Karnataka and she has joined Learngeeta on 2023. She is technical assistant for our Learngeeta program for all levels. Welcome, Didi, and please perform prayer.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Thank you so much, Didi, for beautiful recitation of prayer. And now we will proceed for Hanuman Chalisa part. Then we will conclude this session, Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय
महाबली हनुमान की जय जय श्री कृष्ण टू एवरीवन हैप्पी रक्षाबंधन and see you on next session next week same time same